Would that I were the warrior from whom you draw strength, or the father in whom you seek guidance. Oh, would that I were him, someone to look up to, someone to call friend.
First impression with David was, of course, good, because David, he only gives good impressions. You have a lot of respect for David, and we all did here in San Antonio, because he's a man of character.
David changed the face of San Antonio forever. He came to San Antonio, the whole town turned out to greet him and meet him, and I think David was very impressed by that, to the point that he told his agent, you know, maybe God intended for me to be a big fish in a little pond.
Basically, he's a 7-foot 1-inch outgoing big kid. We kid David, he kids us back. He's been an unbelievable teammate for everyone he's played with. But the bottom line for David is that there's no Spurs without David. David didn't have to come here. And if he had not come here, we wouldn't be sitting here with the history that the Spurs have had over the last 18 or 20 years. It wouldn't have happened.
David not only changed the skill set and accomplishments of the Spurs, he raised the awareness across the nation and around the world to the city of San Antonio. And this is important. And he did so in a good way. Every person who travels has had somebody come up to them and say, "You're from San Antonio? I like David Robinson." There's a connection between San Antonio and David Robinson, and isn't it remarkable that it's always positive?
He's the one, I think, really put the Spurs in the middle of the community relative to community service. So we have built on his legacy. We have the Silver and Black Foundation. We have all kinds of things that really in a lot of ways came from his focus and mentality and belief that you must give back to your community.
David means so much more to the spirit and the soul of the city, not just because he was involved in a lot of charitable situations and gave his time. We all know about the school that he established. Not many people establish schools. That's a pretty large deal. So he's done that. But his time just living here and being a member of the community has been very large.
And I remember him coming to me about the school, and he took me out to show me where he's going to build. And there were still these old houses in a pretty rough part of town. And I was saying, oh, okay, next year. He said, oh, no, we're going to start. This was like June. And he said, oh, no, we're going to start in September. Oh, man, that ain't going to happen, okay? And there they were. They were open in September. They weren't completed, but they were open. I mean, just phenomenal what he does. And his give back, his give back, his give back. It's never ending. I've seen it on an individual basis.
He leads by example. He leads by inspiration. He's got a little bit of pastor ingrained in that admiral character of his. I mean, he genuinely cares about people. Yeah, he'll lead an army up the hill for sure, but he'll go back and make sure that any stragglers are brought along behind as well.
I haven't discovered a flaw in David. He's human. I know it's there somewhere, but again, he was so successful at the college level, the pro level, and now in business, as well as in life. He just has touched so many people in so many positive ways that he's just exceptional.
You know, we love to give David a hard time sometimes about being too perfect, you know, and he laughs, of course. I think a lot of us would like to handle our lives like David's handled his life. And so I love David, I love Valerie, I love his 3 children, and to watch him on the sideline now with Corey at the Notre Dame game, you know, how exciting that is.
One of the things that makes David so great is his wonderful wife, and so kudos to both of them for making that marriage so special.
In all the years that we've known David, I don't think one time I've ever seen him without that big, wide smile. And that's the way he lives his life.
The one-word description I would give for David is happy. He really is a happy guy. There's not a shy bone in his body. He'll talk to anyone, he'll talk about anything, and he'll discuss it intelligently.
If you know David, once David gets rolling, he may not stop. He can talk. David is interested in people. He loves people.
What he did is beyond anything I think that he will ever recognize himself, because what we're enjoying in San Antonio today, we wouldn't have without David. You can't categorize him as a basketball player. You can categorize him as a pathfinder. He found the paths that we needed to find. He showed us the way, and we tried to play the game as best we could.
But you know what I think I love most about David? He doesn't know how special he is. He really doesn't. Look up the word prima donna in the dictionary, and there is no David Robinson in the definition, just the opposite. Look up the word humility, and you'll see David Robinson. Servant, and you'll see David Robinson. Friend, and you'll see David Robinson.
David is a soulful, fun-loving, kind man.
Passion, perseverance, focus, character, honesty. I don't know if I could come up with enough definitions. Man, this is beginning to sound soapy, but so. But it's true. I mean, it is true. And so that's what's wonderful about him getting this Pathfinder award.
No, I think, that'll make his head big enough.